What is self-love and how do I learn it? For a very long time, I thought self-love meant treating yourself to a little wellness, lighting a scented candle and saying, I love you in front of the mirror. I thought a few affirmations and avocado masks would fix the inner chaos that years of self-doubt had wreaked. What can I say? It didn't work. I continued to feel like an emotional cactus in a sea of flowers full of self-doubt, and often felt like I wasn't good enough, pretty enough, productive enough, and above all, not smart enough to even begin to understand all the self-optimized superhumans on Instagram. At some point, somewhere between my third bathroom mirror crisis and an impulsively purchased self-help book, the realization hit me like a ton of bricks. I didn't just look tired. I was tired of fighting myself all day. That's exactly why I wanted to delve deeper into the topic of self-love. I wanted to know why it's sometimes so difficult to like yourself, and why we all keep putting off the path to more self-love like it's a visit to the dentist. So I started taking self-love seriously, not just in the form of bubble bath Sundays, but properly. Looking at shadows, setting boundaries, stop beating myself up when I make a mistake, giving myself the space to not be perfect. And I discovered self-love can be uncomfortable and at the same time so powerful. It's not a wellness weekend, but a daily decision. And you know what? My life didn't suddenly become a Netflix series about radiant morning people with perfectly brewed organic coffee and emotional clarity, but I did start treating myself like someone I loved. And that changed everything. It's worth learning interesting facts about this topic from the works of good authors and applying some of their advice to yourself. Below, I'll try to share some of this information. So let's get started. Take a closer look. Psychologists repeatedly emphasize the importance of self-love for healthy physical and mental development, and not least for experiencing joy in life. Self-love means accepting, respecting, and appreciating yourself with all your strengths and weaknesses. It's not about glorifying yourself, but rather treating yourself with love and understanding. Self-love is the foundation for everything we feel, decide, and create, because how we treat ourselves ultimately determines how we live, love, and relate to others. In short, self-love is not a luxury, but a psychological foundation for resilience, self-efficacy, and the ability to relate, and it shapes our entire life, whether we like it or not. Self-love doesn't mean celebrating yourself every day. It means not hating yourself even after you've just inhaled the entire pack of cookies as if it were a new breathing technique. But how do I learn to like myself and feel self-love? They say everything good begins with loving yourself. I say, great. And where's the stupid start button? It all sounds so simple, but in fact, it wasn't for me at all. Basically, the literature sees regaining lost self-love as a process, and the following steps, among others, are recommended as daily exercises. First, self-reflection, recognizing and challenging negative beliefs. Second, mindfulness, recognizing and taking your own needs seriously. Third, practicing self-compassion, allowing yourself to make mistakes without internally belittling yourself or even subconsciously punishing yourself for them. Fourth, setting healthy boundaries, learning to say no without feeling guilty. And fifth, keeping a self-love journal in which you write down one thing you like about yourself every day. This too isn't about perfection, but about taking small, continuous steps toward inner well-being. Self-love doesn't mean finding yourself perfect. It means reaching out to yourself in a friendly way, even on difficult days. But what are the causes of a lack of self-love? There can be various reasons for this, such as past rejection, critical or unloving upbringing, trauma experienced, constant comparison with others, and self-imposed pressure to perform. Negative beliefs about one's own self-worth and behavior resulting from the aforementioned experiences. Let's address the question, what impact does healthy self-love have on our lives? This includes a certain degree of inner peace and emotional stability, the ability to maintain healthy, authentic relationships, the courage to make decisions for ourselves, the basis for the level of stress management required in life, and good self-esteem. Self-love makes us less dependent on external judgment, allows us to believe in ourselves, and leads to a sense of inner well-being and resulting joy in life. How do I test whether I have healthy self-love? It's worth asking yourself the following questions to get to the bottom of your own negative beliefs. How do I talk to myself internally when I make a mistake? Do I allow myself to take breaks, or do I constantly feel guilty when I do? Do I feel valuable, even without achievements? Do I find it easy to set boundaries? Do I constantly practice self-criticism? How dependent am I on the validation of others? Am I afraid of rejection or failure? Do I have problems in relationships, for example, due to over-adaptation or fear of loss? Many authors on this topic, however, agree. The most important thing is to let go of negative beliefs in order to avoid constantly boycotting yourself. The more you respect yourself, the healthier your self-love. Conclusion. A lack of self-love acts like an inner critic that constantly sabotages our ability to develop our potential and experience our well-being. Therefore, self-love is not the icing on the cake of your life. It's the indispensable fire extinguisher when your inner self is ablaze. It's not a goal you reach, it's a path you take. And every step along this path brings us closer to the person we truly are. And one more thing, the more you love yourself, the less you wait for someone else to do it for you. A brief distinction between self-love and narcissism, as well as book recommendations on the topic of self-love, will follow in further videos.